Hello everyone, good evening. Hi. So today's live was last minute, okay? I've always wanted to talk to this gentleman for a very long time. He's super duper busy walking cross country. So today he said he's free, so I nabbed him. Just a second. Hi everyone. It's going to be a quick live, okay? Good evening. Hey, hi, Ronit.
Hi, Swati. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are
Yeah.
you?
Listening to the introduction, we have been planning to speak for a while now. But
Yeah. Yes,
here we are.
yes, yes. So,
I'm glad to
okay.
be.
So, I think there's a small lag. Just a second.
Okay.
Are you on Wi-Fi or mobile
I'm on
network?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, first of all, what is this Mustang in your name?
So it's basically one of my identities. I'm an ex-NDA. I was under training for 2 years in the army. And you know how in school we have houses, red, blue, green, and all. So in the
Yeah.
army we have squadrons. We have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, so on. So I was in the
Okay.
Mike squadron, the M squadron. Now every
Okay.
squadron has a soul. Alpha Apaches, Bravo Braves, Charlie Cheetahs, Delta Tigers. So a
Okay.
Mike soul is a Mustang horse. So we were called the Mighty
Oh.
Mustangs. So the
Uh-huh.
first
Uh-huh.
poem that I wrote was called The Mighty Mustang. My book was named The Mighty Mustang. And then that has become my identity. So I have this Mustang horse tattoo on my right. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
you by that name. So that's
Right.
why.
Right. So, what is this book about?
So this book is about my journey back in the army. So half of it is about this. I've had two big falls in my life, which
Mhm.
I got out of, and I have learned a lot from them. So I wrote about two of them. One is about the army story, and second is a love story. Both of them
Oh,
came to a
okay.
crashing. So I wrote about the learnings from them, and it ends on a more of a optimistic note because that book was basically me reaching out to the world and me. It was therapeutic for me in some ways, just journaling it down and sharing it with the world.
Okay. Nice. But yeah, now you're walking from Kanyakumari to Leh, right?
Yes,
Why are
ma'am.
you walking?
Okay, so I'm meeting your audience for the first time, so I
Mm-hmm.
just give a quick story. So, to whoever who's watching me for the first time, I'm Ronit. I'm 23, and right now I'm on this journey from Kanyakumari to Leh. It's a 4,000-kilometer walk, and I'll give you the context. So it all started, with me being as a kid. I always wanted to be part of the armed forces. I wanted to become an army officer, and I spent my entire school life dedicated towards it. I have sacrificed a lot of things just to get in there. And after my 12th, I got into the NDA, and I was under training. And in the second year of training, at the end of third semester, I suffered from a back injury, a spinal injury. It's a permanent deformity that I have, and I was declared medically unfit to continue. And my entire dream came to a crash. And I mean, when you're in that position wherein your entire life depended on something and it's taken away from you, and you don't have anything to look forward to. That was the time I was hospitalized for more than 2 months, and that was the time wherein I contemplated committing suicide. And I won't go in detail about that, but once after that episode, when I started doing my graduation again from Christ, I was diagnosed with mental health issues. I was diagnosed with depression and PTSD. And when that
Oh,
happened, the first time that I encountered things like depression and PTSD, things like mental health. And when that happened to me, I thought I was the only one who was going through it. That, like my life, because it had come to this point, this is like, it's a special case, or, it's a once in a lifetime kind of a thing. But then I looked around. It was tough, like my PTSD relapses time to time, I still see therapists as well. And
okay.
when I around, I realized that I was not the only one who was going through issues. And then that was the time I started, taking more literature about mental health, about psychology, about different things. And then I realized that, like, as I speak right now, in India, 28 students are dying by suicide every day. That's more than 1 hour per day. And India is the most depressed country when it comes to adolescent mental health. And especially after COVID, the cases are only spiking. I crossed Tamil Nadu yesterday, and in Tamil Nadu, 2 days back, one actress, we lost her to suicide
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So, it has taken a hit. And the problem is in India that, while we care about physical health, while we care about PT and yoga and all that, nobody talks about mental health. Let's say people talk about mental health, it becomes one of those social media hashtags wherein people speak for it for a week and then nobody cares. I have legit people putting up stories being like, I'm here if you want to talk, and you text them and they will never respond because it's more of a trend. And I realized that, and I have been very active towards mental health awareness. I have been doing workshops. I have been collaborating with different organizations, doing IG lives and a lot of things for the past 2-3 years. But the problem is, I realized that it's a very limited audience because social media is a very privileged thing. More than half of India's population does not have a smartphone, does not have internet, right? So how does the message of mental health, how does these awareness, these campaigns and these messages go out to them? So I wanted on that front. And, while this is good, while I'm glad that a lot of people are coming up and talking about mental health, after one point, I realized that people were just talking, right? And it's good that when we say that, talking about mental health is important, it is important. But if you just talk about it and don't do anything about it, that's wherein it's limited, because then you won't anything changing in the ground level reality. Your rates are going to still be high, right? There's not going to be any change. So then I wanted to do something about it because, like, honestly, I kind of got tired of just, sitting in front of a screen and then, preaching about things and not being able to do something on the ground. That's wherein I started researching about what are the different ways you can hit the ground level, the entire mass. So I looked at different, I took up constitution, right? And I looked at the basic rights human beings have, and then education is a fundamental right. And then I looked into the education system, and then the NEP came up, NEP 2020 came up, and I was going through that, and it's brilliant theoretically. And I'm glad that it has mentioned mental health twice, but it has kind of brushed it with other things, and it has not addressed it properly. And the problem is that the NEP will next change in the next 10-15 years, which means that if it's not implemented properly now, it's sorted for the next 15 years. And then I went through the entire document and realized that, mental health has a lot of layers to it. When you say mental health, there's a psychological aspect to it, there's a social aspect to it, social well-being, there's emotional well-being, there's parent-teacher training as well, and then comes the safety net. So what the government has done right now has kind of come up with a safety net. We have the Manodarpan initiative, we have a toll-free number, suicide helpline number, counseling helpline number, but these are safety net. And the thing that we have to hit is to encourage people to reach out to psychologists, to have more psychologists in the country, to normalize this entire conversation about mental health, because I'm sure most of you will relate. The moment you go and tell your parents or anyone that, you should visit a therapist or a counselor or a psychologist, they become very defensive. They say that I'm not crazy or nothing's wrong with me. It's not about being crazy. Just like we have physical health issues and you go to a doctor and they're qualified to address that, we have mental health issues, and it happens, because we live in a world wherein it's not as simple as it looks like. It's a very complex world. We have so many identities that we carry. We have so many roles that we have to play. We have so much of pressure, the family, societal, personal pressure, relationships, and all of that. It gets difficult to balance. And there are times when the threshold of people it's crossed, and that's when people do have issues, and it's okay to have that. And that's when you have professionals that you go to them and you reach out to them and they help you out. They intervene there. But the problem happens when you stop that agency, when you build an entire stigma, you create this negative image that it's wrong or it's sad, and the society builds up on that. And that becomes your reality. That when you tell them to see, they start defending what's wrong. And all of this, the root causes in the education system. Because in our school, I never had mental health education. None of my cousins have that. Right now, it's not there. My parents didn't have that. So it's important that in the education system, these formative years when the brain of an adolescent is getting used to a lot of things, is learning about things, they're also learning things about themselves, about the world, about the society. They need to learn things about mental health, what mental health is. In India, we have metrics for physical health, right? You and I can simply take the BMI or take out the weight and chart. We don't have any metrics for mental health. So it's easy for any organization or any individual to brush it off by saying that, oh, our school or organization has a mental health day, or we celebrated a mental health awareness week, right? And I give this very common, like very basic analogy: brushing teeth. When you brush your teeth for 2 minutes a day, what happens? Nothing happens to your teeth. But when you do it for 365 days consistently, that's when your teeth is healthy. Same logic. And so if I were to say that I will calculate 2 minutes into 365 and then just do it for 2 days straight, and I wouldn't touch my teeth for the next 363 days, my teeth fall off. Yes, it will. Same goes with mental health. If you just do it for 1 day or 5 days, it's not going to address. You do it on a consistent basis. And that's the difference between consistency and intensity. Yes, those mental health campaigns are important. Those 1 week celebration is important. That's intensity. But if you lose out consistency because of intensity, then it's not going to hit. And for mental health, we need to have that, because we don't have that. And that's wherein I started a petition to the education ministry, to Mr. Ramesh Pokhriyal, to incorporate a mandatory mental health curriculum in the Indian schools. When I say Indian schools, public schools, private school, Anganwadi, NIOS, KVS, everywhere. And this mental health curriculum is not a subject. It will never be graded, because you can't put graded subjects. Only going to add to the load, and it's only going to be one of those papers wherein you clear the exams. So it has to be skill training, through teacher interaction, through public-private partnership, right? That's how you address all of it. And you bring it into the curriculum. It becomes a normal part of your routine. And the aim is to normalize this entire system, integrate this system with the curriculum, so that tomorrow, just like I go to my dad and say that, I got a cut today, and I need help. I could say that there's something going on. I have an emotional issue, or a friend of mine said that, or a classmate of mine bullied me for this or called me this, right? This conversation needs to be normalized. And while we say that we have a suicide helpline number, we have a lot of repositories out there, advisories that the government has released, that how to deal with stress and all of that. My basic point is, let's say my dad, for a physical ailment, kept a medicine in the cupboard, said that this thing will fix this. Now, my question is, first, why should I trust that medicine should work? Even if I trust that, let's say I take that medicine, probably my friends will say that I'm not strong enough and I'm not man enough because I'm taking that medicine. Because we have this limiting factor, this stigma that we've attached. So it's important that knowledge process is important. Then this is just the student part. You need to have parents and teachers training as well. Because let's say you sensitize students to this, and then they go home or go to their teachers and open up, and the teachers or parents discard it. They said, no, all of this is crap. So that's also not going to help. So you have to involve all of them. You have to create a safe space for a student and the parents and the teachers as well, so that this is being spoken of on a normal basis. We have parents-teacher meet, right, wherein we assess the academic progress of an individual. Why can't we have parents-teacher meet when the basic questions are like, how are you doing emotionally? Is there something that's going on? Do you want to talk about something? We need to have that as well. So your curriculum would bring that into a normal routine of a school. And I think it's very important, because education, this is something that it will spread like everywhere. Education is something that every household needs. It needs to spread. That it has been spreading. So that's the most effective agency that I could pick off. And then in support of that petition, I am walking from Kanyakumari to Leh. I started walking on 16th of November from Kanyakumari, and today morning I reached Bangalore. So today I crossed one state. I crossed Tamil Nadu, and I have walked around 60 kilometers. And I have visited more than 20-30 schools. I have met organizations. So as I'm walking, I'm getting petition signature, because the basic idea is that we're going to present this petition to the central ministry. So let's say when we present, let's say you and I, we raise an application to the ministry, right? And you go to the ministry and they say that, see, this is important, you should take. Now, they will say that, yes, it's important, but here's the thing. In India, we have so many issues that I have to see 10 other applications as well. So I had to hit the basic mentality. If I were to be like, sir, I'm bloody walking the entire country for this, getting lakhs of signature, and everybody's talking about it, be it people or media and everyone. Can you please take a look? You might take a look. So it's all a game of probability and possibility. It increases that. So I'm also getting offline signatures, because when we say that it's important to get online signatures, again, a privilege. Where will people who do not have a phone have that? So I legit carry offline petitions with me and get farmers, get signatures from everyone. I get signatures from officials, from deans, from faculties, from students, from farmers, from shopkeepers. I get from everywhere, because it's also a very symbolic thing. You need to engage with everyone. And what's the best way to make someone aware about mental health? You legit go and tell them. So I'm legit going and telling them and interacting with them. So I'll be hitting Delhi by mid-April if everything goes according to the plan, and then in May and I'll hit Ladakh, and that's the plan. So I really urge all of you who are watching this to first sign the petition. It's on the link is on my bio. It's also, you can go to, we have started a dedicated page for it called NH Mental Health. I'll also mention that. Go there, sign that, and I'll ask Swati to as well, share the petition link as well.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Please,
yeah.
petition, please spread the word as much as you can, because see, I keep telling people, see, I don't have anything to benefit out of it. I'm done schooling, right? Swati doesn't have to do anything with it. But
I have to do something. My daughter is in school.
Exactly. Yeah. Swati's daughter, your children, right? And we owe it to the people who are there right now. We also owe it to the people who we have lost. So we owe it to a lot of, and spread the word as much as you can. How you can contribute. Right now, I uploaded a post today, and I mentioned that I hit Bangalore. So if someone who's in Karnataka right now, get me in touch with people and organization in Karnataka. Get media people involved. The moment you get media involved, they start asking questions to the government. The moment they start asking questions, it makes the government more accountable. So that's how you bring more people. You bring more traction to it. That's how you get more signatures. And another way you can help me out is while I'm walking, I've also started a fundraiser, because when I'm walking, I'm legit like, I have to sustain my journey, my fooding and lodging. So I also started a fundraiser. You'll also find that link if you can. And if you're willing to, please donate whatever amount you can. That amount basically goes in getting me food on a daily basis to, help me survive this entire walk. And as of now, the walk has been a very humbling experience. I keep writing all the inputs that I get from people, keep polishing my arguments on a daily basis, keep learning new perspectives, so that when we hit the ministry, we have answers to every bloody question that they might have. So I also urge you to ask us questions. If you don't believe in a certain point, you contest that, you contradict that. We need that. We need to polish this entire petition in a way that by the time it reaches, it's almost perfect. So also do that. Connect me with more people, and please, please, please sign the petition and spread the word. It's really going to help the cause. And why I'm doing this, some people ask, see, there are two possibilities. A, it is very important and it means a lot to me. Two, I'm crazy, which I also get sometimes. So in any way, in both the cases, just if you feel it's very important, please sign it. If you feel I'm crazy, just pity on me and sign it, but do sign it. And I'll ask Swati to share it as well. And so that's the gist of it. Rest you can I'll share, you can read the details in the petition. And I also keep posting the updates or where I am right now. I will be sharing the route of Karnataka, because from Karnataka, I'll be entering Andhra Pradesh, and I'll share the route with you as well. And if you could connect me with people from those places, it will really help me out in spreading the message across. Thank you so much for listening.
Sure. Thank you, Ronit, for giving us that summary of the whole thing. I didn't have to ask any questions in between. Now, since you're going to Andhra Pradesh, what exactly should people do? Should they just DM you, or is there a team behind that is looking at mails or something, so that you're not disturbed in this process? How does it work?
You can also DM me. I anyway, divert you to the team itself. We have a team, the NH Mental Health page. Everything happens from there. I have a dedicated team of 4 or 5 members who day and night, they keep checking mails, they keep reaching out to people and different people. So you DM, or you can DM me as well, and I will transfer it to them as well. What I would want from, connect me with people from all these areas. I will also be specifically mentioning the districts as to which is the one I'm hitting. If you are from there, hit me up. If you know someone from there, or if you can get me in touch with someone who could get me in touch with someone, that kind of a thing. It's all mutual. I remember in Namakkal, a family hosted me, And so it was a friend of a friend of a friend of mine, his brother's mother-in-law. She hosted me. So it was that connection because they understood the
Okay.
importance. They were so welcoming. So these are the kind of connections that I want. So if you could reach, if you could just connect me with someone, please do that. And but
Okay.
anything, just sign the petition.
Okay, that will definitely do, and I'll keep updating the petition now and then on my feed too, because just like mental health, I also want sex education to be part of the curriculum, and I don't know if I'll be
For that,
walking cross country
yeah.
for that, but I really, really support the initiative that you're doing because I'm also from a mental health background. So yeah, I'll be posting a petition now and then on my feed. Meanwhile, lodging or other things that money or donations and all, how is it? I mean, all on
So
nhmentalhealth
it's yeah,
dot
all goes to
in.
NH mental health. And here's an interesting thing: like
Okay,
I have stayed in lodges. I have been hosted by people in some districts. I have also stayed at a temple with a priest. I have also stayed at a church because some places you don't find anything. So it totally
okay,
depends on what's available. So that's there. And you know what? Before I say anything, because you are a mother, right, Swati, I want you to tell your audience, give a perspective, because I'm not a parent. I'm 23. You are a parent, and you understand. I mean, I salute you for that because you actually work towards mental health. You just give me a perspective as a mother, because that's a perspective I can never give. So I want you to pitch in on that.
No, I mean, I strongly believe there is a mother and a father and everything in everybody. So, just because you're a man doesn't mean that you don't have that motherliness. In fact, you care for the world, you care for its children. That's why you're doing it. So I see a lot of motherliness in you too. So it's not that I can only talk about motherhood, but yeah, as not just as a parent, but also as a person from a psychology background, I do understand the stigma around this whole psychology, therapy, counseling, or even psychiatry, taking drugs for certain reasons. Everything has a huge stigma, even if it's absolutely necessary. People are not doing it. People are not, getting it done, going to the right people. In fact, a lot of people think Instagram is therapy. A lot of people DM me asking, what can be done? Please help me and all that. So they have to understand that there are professionals for it. And beyond everything, the work that you are doing from a very young age, if we keep hearing this, every day, it becomes really normal and fine and really, what do you say? Very simple, psychology or mental health should be very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for doing this. You are amazing. At 23, what was I doing? I was just 1 year married and I was wondering what to do with my life.
Yeah.
So you're amazing at
I mean,
23. Good
we're
job,
all on our
Ronit.
journeys, that's one thing
Good
I've
job,
learned
Ronit.
from life.
Good job. Yeah, yeah. And any other interesting things you'd like to share with us in Tamil Nadu? Anything that happened because you started from Tamil Nadu?
I've had a lot of stories, some of them pleasant, some of them unpleasant, but the kind of things I've picked up is, I can properly eat on a banana leaf without spilling the rasam everywhere. And the amount of rice that I can now pick up in my fist has increased. Uh,
Good, good.
I understand a couple of Tamil words as well, and given the
Mm-hmm.
context, I'm able to kind of understand. And the people have been actually very welcoming. And the best part was,
Okay.
like, a lot of time language was the biggest issue for me because I don't know Tamil. I only know English and Hindi. But once you kind of develop these bonds, once you go through that, go through that barrier that people have, it's through gestures and you communicate with
Yeah.
each, and it's beautiful that way. I remember this one time, I spent the night with a family and we could not communicate, but we spoke for the entire night. We could not understand
Okay.
spoke for the entire night. So we kind of understand the idea of it, but we couldn't understand the
Yeah,
conversation
yeah.
we spoke. So these are the couple of beautiful things I've had. The biggest lesson, see, it's also a very learning and humbling experience for me as I'm walking. And as a Gen Z, right, I think the biggest lesson that I have had is most of us, we talk so much, but we do so little. And we
Yeah.
do because we understand so little. So as I'm walking, I'm being able to understand more about the world, the society, the state, and myself as well. So that way, it's a very enriching experience for me. and I'm sure it's only going to. And I hope that I'm able to channelize all of it into the cause itself. So I'm really looking forward to that. And here's the thing, like let's say we're having this live right now. Let's do 5 more states, and we're gonna have a live again. And a lot of the things gonna change, and it's gonna pop up because every 25 to 50 kilometers that I walk, the perspectives change, the ideas of people change, the priorities change. So you have to take into account every requirement of every state, every district. It has to be customized that way. So I keep taking notes all the time. So I'm sure I will have a lot of inputs then.
Okay, amazing. So we planned half an hour live. It's just 25 minutes. So can you just quickly tell us what you do during the walk? Do you listen to something or?
No, so my walk usually starts at 5:30 in the morning because that's when I come maximum mileage. The average has been 30 to 35 kilometers per day. Some days it's 27, 28. There have been days I walk 45 to 50. These are the Krishnagiri Dharmpuri stretch wherein it was like long stretch of nothingness. So that's there. In my walks, I have been chased by dogs a lot because apparently this random guy walking with a mask and a bag. So that happens. I've had a couple of close rash driving and stuff. But usually I just put on my music and I keep walking. There are long stretches wherein I just think about life. I think about my family. I think about them a lot. I think about my sister a lot. I think about my friends. I think about life, love, a lot of things.
Next book that you're going to write.
That next book is also, so before I started the walk, I was actually working on my novel, and it got from a couple of publication houses, and I had to finish the script and submit it. But then I started walking, so that's one of the things I'm thinking. How do I finish that? And I think by the time the walk finishes, the story is going to change because like I'm learning so many things. So that's there. I am planning to write a book about the experiences as well, and a poetry book and all. So the books will come. So that's there. Another thing, if some of you are watching who like poetry, on 12th, and this is something I'm not going to announce it tonight because I'm here live, I'll announce. Because I'm a poet, so I also wanted to bring that element into it as well. So on 12th night, and I'll share the updates of that, like one of my friends, Hiba, she's a sweetheart, and she's organized this thing wherein there's an open mic, there's a poetry event, full of curated artists. It's an online event. You can register, and we have some brilliant poets from Bangalore and other places as well. And we're going to talk. The theme would be mental health and life, and we're going to share pieces on that. I will also be coming there speaking, and I'll also share one of my poems. And so whatever funds that we're going to raise from that is going to help me out in the fundraiser. So this is an initiative that we've started. So I will invite all of you to be a part of it. Just have a taste of poetry. It's beautiful. It's powerful. So do that. And apart from that, just sign the petition. And I keep saying that if you notice, I will never say that this is my petition. I started it, but it's our petition. You have to take it personally. If you don't take it personally, it's not going to help. You have to take it personally. It's for you. It's for your children. It's for your younger generation, the previous generation. So please, I can't stress enough. If I convince you that I have literally left my entire life behind, my work life, love life, everything behind for this, it means something. So please go sign the petition. Let's get mental health in schools.
Definitely, Ronit. I'll definitely be urging my followers also to do that. I'll also be doing that, and let's get some donations coming your way too, so that your journey is smooth and you don't have to worry about things. So I'll do anything possible from my side. Okay. So thank you so much for joining, and finally I got hold of you. So right now you're in Bangalore, and may all your talks in Bangalore, everything go really well. And if you need any support from my side, if you need any local support, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much, Ronit.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.